Hello and welcome to another episode of Finding Serenity in the Midst of Chaos podcast. Today we are talking about how to find what to do next. This is for you if you are on the crossroads of life and don't know what to do next with yourself, with your life. This is definitely for you. If you're no longer fulfilled with the job that you have and questioning where you should go next, you should also stay tuned. And if you want a different sort of career and you feel like your career is not fulfilling you or giving you the work-life balance that you're after. So stay tuned and we'll talk about all of that right now. Hello, Ian.
Hello, July.
How are you?
All right, very good. And you?
I'm great, thank you. Marvelous.
That's good.
Marvelous.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
This is another interesting topic. This is the kind of thing that people want to know, isn't it? And that's what we're all about.
It is absolutely. And it's the question that I get from my clients, my potential clients. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what I want in my life. You know, people know what they don't want to do anymore.
That's just what I was thinking. It's always the other way around, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is the other way
Yeah.
around. But what you do is that you get stuck in, I don't know what to do next. And that's the question you keep asking. That's the phrase you keep telling yourself. And
Yeah.
that's where you get stuck, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. So nothing moves forward and
Yeah.
you are literally stuck. And,
yeah.
you know, I sit here straight away thinking, well, yeah, I suppose that's right. And there's not much you can do about that, really. So, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. But you
But
know
I've got a
better. There is
feeling
a
we're going to,
lot.
I'm going to say, I've got a feeling that we're going to fill a few gaps here today in the
We are.
chat.
I don't know what to do next is a very, I know it comes from a kind of a good place in a
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
helplessness, but it is also a kind of learned helplessness. And we don't want to be
Right.
in this position. We don't want to be in a victim position. What we want to do is to, first of all, it is a question that you get stuck at quite a lot. But why don't we move forward? How can we move forward? The first thing
Yeah.
you can do is, what do I not want to do anymore? And I think that's a great example, great way to start kind of releasing some of that stuckness. What do
I
I
have to
no
say at
longer
this
want? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So I have to say at this point, just thinking, you know, my son's in that position at the moment,
Yeah.
really, because he's in the middle of A levels. He's,
Mm-hmm.
as at the time of this recording, he's got 2 down. He's not in school today because he doesn't have an exam today. So he's in again tomorrow for number 3 of 9.
Oh,
But
wow.
we've got no idea what he's going to do afterwards at all at the moment. But he does know, the reason I mention this is because he does know certainly what he doesn't want. He doesn't want to follow in my footsteps of having been working in industry for X number of years.
Yeah.
You know, working for the same company, which is what I did. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do it. So, you know, that's a good start. So that's a real example that I can testify to, that it's okay to not know.
Yes, it's okay to not know. It's a great reminder, and thank you for bringing that up. It's okay to not know, because often people get stuck in, I don't know what to do, therefore I am bad, and this is a bad situation. I can never move away from this. So I don't know what to do. It's okay. But what do I not want to do? So start writing down what you don't want to do. And it's especially if you're already in a job where you're not fulfilled, where there is no work-life balance, you feel bad in yourself most of the days, whether it's low energy, whether it's unfulfillment. You know what you don't want to do anymore, so that you're in a great place already. And the fact that you're asking the question, I don't know what to do, means that you want to do something different.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yes, indeed.
and
Yes.
and the fact that you're asking that means you can move forward from this. But what else can you do in order to find? So why don't we ask a different question? Instead of saying, what do I really want? That could become a very overwhelming question, isn't it? Oh my God. You then start thinking about, but I don't know how can I move forward? I can't have that.
Yeah,
And all
this
of
is
this
exactly
stuff.
what I was feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I said at the start, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm sure other people listening, watching are probably thinking that. So, you know,
Yeah.
what can we do? Yeah.
Why
But
don't we
yeah.
start writing, how do I want to feel? Because the
Right.
fact that you're not feeling great is already triggering that question, what do I want next? What
True.
else do I
Yes.
want in
Yes.
myself? So how do I want to feel? That's an easier question because you can identify with your feelings, you can feel them, you can put a name to them. I feel
Yes.
frustrated. So what's the opposite? I want to feel at ease. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel calmer. I want to
Yeah.
feel whatever. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
no, this is good. This is good. I can
you
see
can,
now there's a chance to move forward a bit here. Yeah.
yeah, and you can start thinking about what sort of things that help you do that, you know. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not going to feel like that in my day job, well, says who? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you feel like that? Why wouldn't you be able to feel good, be yourself, and do a great job and get paid for it?
Yes.
What's stopping you from doing that? There's
Yeah,
millions of
very good.
people who do that. And sometimes we associate working hard with feeling bad. That's because that's our current reality, perhaps. And that, just because it's your current reality, doesn't mean it's always going to be the same. And
Yeah.
it's in your hands to change that by asking the
Yeah.
question, how do I want to feel?
That's really good, because a lot of people, that I met sort of growing up would say, well, what's a happy job? It's your work. You're not supposed to be motivated by it. It's your work. It's your, almost as though it's your punishment. You're in prison. Get back to work, lad. Get on with it. And,
Oh my God.
when you come out, then fine. You got the evening to yourself. But, you're at work. It's not supposed to be fun.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
most people live their life like that, isn't it? I mean,
Well, I hope
we all
not,
did
but it
for
probably is.
it.
And
It is probably is that like that.
that's not, but this is
Mm.
not good enough, is it? And we can do better.
No, work and life. There is one life that we get to
Yeah.
live. There's probably more than one, but the one that we always remember and one that we are living in right now.
Well,
And
that's right. Yeah.
we've got to make the most of that in the way that we can. And again, how do I want to feel? What sort of activities that I can do that makes me feel like that? The third layer of the question, what sort of activities that makes me feel good and I can help people with?
Okay.
And if you can
Yeah.
help people with, which means you can charge money for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
This is a bit different. Yeah. Okay.
if you're solving somebody else's problems,
Yeah.
somebody else is prepared to pay you to help you, help them solve
Help.
that problem.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this isn't a bad thing. This is a great thing. We pay for things every single day, every single
Sure.
moment,
Yeah.
to solve some sort of problem, to make us feel good, to help make life easier or whatever. So if
Yeah.
you
See
are
what you mean.
making somebody else's life easy and make them feel better or whatever, then here's something, you feel better,
Yeah.
you get money for it, and you help somebody else, and you've got like 3 wins all of a sudden.
Very good.
And you're figuring out at the same time, what is it that you want to do next? Look,
Yeah.
this isn't an easy answer. It's not like a pill that you can swallow and
No. No.
but like I said, the fact that you already know that you don't want to do what you're doing right now is you're on the way to finding what that is. And
That's right. And I think it's important, if I can just jump in here, Chad, to say we're not saying that, try this on a Tuesday and hand your notice in on the Wednesday, and then hope that you get more of these sort of opportunities to help people. You're on your way, but, don't do anything rash, stick with it until, something evolves that's more concrete and sustainable, I would say.
Exactly.
I
I mean,
hope that's
that's
right.
right. That's right. We're not giving anybody any advice about what to do. We are just telling them the steps that they could go
Yes.
through, and what they
Yeah.
do with it is up to them. And
Sure.
only when they do something with it, something will come along. And in one of the earlier episodes, somebody asked, when money is an issue, how do I find?
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
What, money isn't the issue. You make money an issue because, like I said, what we focus on grows, and when we focus on money being an issue, money becomes an issue. Whereas if we focused on helping people, if we focused on what really lights us up and how we help others, then you start helping people and the money flows. So that's the way to think about it. So like I said, this is not a pill that you can just take and find out the next morning, that's it. I mean, funnily enough, it kind of came to me as easily as that, but it still had to take a lot of years of me doing what I didn't want to do,
Yes.
kind of putting up with, or almost, having to ride through some heavy feelings of doing the same thing that I didn't want to do anymore, but having to do it because I had to kind of do it.
Yeah, that's right. And I've been there as well. Yeah, absolutely. We have to at times. Yeah. And there's no getting away from that. But
again, when I started this exercise, let me tell you, I started this exercise in the middle of 2018. What do I don't want to do anymore? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And then I start writing it. Actually, I do want to do this instead. And I do want to do this.
Okay.
And I want
to. Now, just very quickly here, writing, do we really have to pick up a pen and write it down? Can't we just go through it in our head?
Well, you can if you want to, but I think there is a great thing about writing. You're taking pen and paper, not just even typing, but pen and paper. It initiates a creative part of your brain where you can really come up with all these great ideas. I mean, if you really feel resistance to it, type it. Doesn't matter. Daydream it. Whatever. We are not really putting barriers.
I just wanted to establish, there probably is some value in actually writing it down. It takes a little bit more effort, obviously, because well, where's my pen, where's my paper, right? Gotta write it down, where I can just sit on the settee and think about it, but it is worth that extra effort then, and it does help with the creativity, just having that action of writing or typing or whatever. Sorry, very minor point, but I think there is some value there.
I think there is definitely value. This is why lots of people offer journaling prompts, journaling exercises. It gets your brain thinking in a way that you wouldn't necessarily think when you're typing.
Sure.
So it is a great value. And if you feel you can do that, so sometimes people get a nice journal and write down with great pens and whatever, that's a thing. But don't let that be a showstopper if you feel you're resistant towards it. So just do whatever it feels right at that moment in time. And I guess writing it down is a good thing as well, because you can come back to it and you can read it again, and you can
that's true.
You feel like what the evolvement has been about.
So you were saying then, Chilla, that this is leading us into now actually writing down stuff that perhaps we do want to do. We've done I don't want
literally to. Halfway through writing it in that way, it does lead you to do that. And I found myself doing that. I learned this exercise from one of my meditation teachers, and he was literally saying, just start writing down what you don't want. And then eventually you'll find that you are starting to turn towards what you do want.
Amazing.
And then
Brilliant.
how you want to feel, who you want to surround yourself with. What would your work day would look like? All of these things, some of the things that we just feel sometimes that we are so scared of writing things down. We are so scared of asking for things. Ask and it's given. This is a verse in the Bible, apparently.
It is actually, yes, that's right.
Ask and it's given.
It will be given. Correct.
But if you don't
absolutely.
ask, you're not going to get anything. And we are so scared of asking because, you know why? We obviously talked about this before, because we know, or we think it's not going to happen. We believe, we doubt of it's happening because we are so uncertain about what might or what might not happen. And by very default, we go towards the things that are not likely to happen, but we fear of happening. Therefore, we don't even bring ourselves to think what we want.
I wonder how many opportunities I've missed through thinking that way and thinking, well, there's no point in asking. There's no point in saying this. And I think I've probably done that so many times, and in work, in a work situation, and just because you think, well, I'm not in control, it's my managers are above me, I'm just a cog in the wheel, and you diminish yourself and you don't do the things. And I think that's kind of one thing that I've learned a lot working with you. And next week you're gonna put me on the spot and ask me what I've learned working with you.
I can't wait for that. We've been talking about the last few weeks.
A great one. If you like seeing me put on the spot and squirming my way through things,
definitely,
then you must be here next week. But that probably will come up, I would say.
Definitely.
And July, you must remind me if I forget. But there you go, put you on the spot back. But
and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss that episode, because it's going to be a good one. I cannot wait for that.
I bet. Yeah.
So. Just to yeah, come back. So we've already started with what we don't want. We started to go into what we do want, how we want to feel, who do we want to surround ourselves with, what sort of activities would we be doing if we want to feel like that. And the reason why we are doing all of this is because, Ian, we can't create what we want from where we are, because where we are is a result of our beliefs so far, our thoughts, our habits, and everything that we've done in the past.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
And if you want to be somewhere different, you've got to work from where you want to be, the outcome, the destination, if you like. You may never get to that destination in the way that you wanted or in the way that you thought about.
Right.
But, start with, how do I want to feel? Here's the full question. How do I want to feel? What do I want to do? Who would I be? How would I feel? And what would I do if I already had what I wanted? And you can write the phrase, whatever it is that you want. And most people don't say what they want or what they want to do next, because again, because of this fear of it not happening, because of the uncertainty that puts them into fear. It's not that people don't know what they want. They do. You do know what you want. You're just so scared to admit it, because all the rush of anxiety and the fear coming into, you can't have that. You're not going to achieve that. Where will you find the money? Who will you be connected to? Whatever. All these stories that keeps coming up. It's just a belief that you've been holding. If you shift it slightly, how would I want to feel? Who would I be? What would I do if I already had this? Then all of a sudden, because you asked a different question, different answers start to come, and you always work from as if you already have it. And that's again fooling our brain to think that we are already there. We don't have to work too hard. We don't have to do everything. We just can achieve it because we're already there, right?
Well, yeah, that's pretty amazing, because you think, coming back to this awful expression that I don't, we are where we are, it's almost, well, we can't do anything, can we? Because we are where we are. But you're actually encouraging us to trick the brain, and this is something else I've learned a lot. The brain will believe you, and you trick it into thinking, well, I already have. So you're now thinking from perspective, I've already got it, so now what? And then that overcomes a lot of that anxiety and fear that you've just been talking about. So I can see there is great value in doing that. So I think that's really helpful.
And as someone who has made that step to the next stage of my life, if you like, after 20 years of being in corporate, doing the same thing, doing the familiar things, doing the things that are really comfortable to me, almost I could do with my eyes closed. I made that next step, and it's all started with this exercise, middle of 2018. But even before that, I was asking myself, this doesn't feel right to me anymore. What do I want to do with my life? And
great.
I started exploring, what other skills do I have? How can I help other people? How can I help and feel good at the same time? What lights me up? And I just started to think about some other aspects of my work and my talents, if you like, that I really enjoy doing. And when you start picking up, I enjoy doing this, I enjoy doing that. And then, funnily enough, I, for myself, went back to one of those personality tests that we did at work. And although, every single one of them pointed to the same thing, that specific one was very descriptive in terms of, what I like, my talents, my natural ways of being and whatever. And the very first sentence, "You're born to be a coach," was like, what? I've never seen that sentence before. I did this test 10 years ago, never looked at that line, or that line never even stuck with me at all. But at that time, because I was asking the right question, it literally stuck with me and stuck out to me just like that. And it's like, that was it. It's like a big light bulb. Then when you know what it is that you're going to do, now how will I do this? What steps can I take? It's only then you start writing down the steps, not right now, not on a blank piece of paper where you're overwhelmed with all this ambiguity. So I almost went to say break it down to little chunks, but no, I'm not going to say that. because that's just kind of, you know, I'm not
Yeah,
going to say that.
fair
I'm going to
enough. We
say
didn't.
it.
I didn't hear what you said, so yeah, carry on.
Make it a fun exercise. There's nothing to lose. You know what you want. Just let your heart sing and write down what is it that you don't want. Yeah, let's summarize it. Write down first what is it that you don't want. Then you will start writing down what is it that you do want. And you will ask yourself, who would I be? How would I feel? What would I do if I already had what I wanted? And these are the questions that, you know, freed up the rest of my life, rest of my career. And because of this, I'm here talking to you guys. And because of this, I've helped so many people, and I'm here to help even more. So what else is possible for you when you start asking the right questions and discovering what is it that you really do want? So, okay.
Fantastic. I think that does it for today. Yeah, there's a lot to think about there. And I've got a week to think about how you're going to interrogate me as to how I've changed and
Can't wait.
what the benefits are of having worked with you for, at the time of the recording, 4 years, just
yes.
over. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. But until then, subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to speaking to you again next week.